What's going on, guys? Hope all is well. In today's video, I'm going to break down something that I did early on in my career that changed my career and started freeing up a ton of time, leading to making a lot more money. It's how we analyze deals from home before we ever get in our car and drive out to the property. Now, in today's video, guys, I'm going to look at 3 separate properties. I'm going to do a screen share and walk over these properties with you using a tool here in a second. 2 of them, I actually did these deals. One of them was just bought about 5 doors down from a house I'm flipping. So what that means is another investor swooped that right out from underneath me. Literally, this house is in invisible eyesight of me, but another investor got it. So why did they get this house and why were they able to buy this house? And it's going to come down to value add or value reduction opportunities when it comes to a property. So in today's video, guys, I want to look at how to analyze properties at home to save a ton of time, but also to look for those hidden deals that you may not know are there, but are there on the leads that you're already getting. So I'm going to share my screen here, guys, real quick, and let's dig in. Let's look at these properties. Right now, guys, I'm going to show you how to make a bunch of money and save a lot of time. And what to expect in this video, guys, is we're going to break down 3 separate properties. The first 2 we're about to go through are properties I actually bought and fixed and flipped and sold. Did very well, made a bunch of money. And I was definitely not the first investor there. I had a lot of people come before me. I'm going to show you why they passed up and why I did not and why I did so well on it. And then the last property, guys, is a breakdown of the case study of a property that was taken out from underneath me on the same street I'm flipping a house. And I'll explain why I was not able to get that deal and why they're going to make a bunch of money on that deal and why I'm not going to let that happen again in local neighborhoods where I'm flipping houses. Okay, so first thing is I'm going to block these addresses, guys, just to give the homeowner some privacy. I'm going to show you how to use Instant Street View. I'm sure you're using this now in a way sometimes, but probably not in the way I want to show you here. So every single lead that you guys have come in, you should do this process. You yourself or someone on your team should be doing this. So this is a property that I bought and actually fixed and sold and did very well on, and a number of investors were here before me. What the homeowner was telling me was these investors were asking for photos or having them send photos or just giving them basic generic offers saying I could probably do 80, I could probably do 85 or whatever it was. So what's happening is other investors are marketing to this house, direct mail, cold calling, whatever they're doing. They're getting the lead, it comes in, they're pulling up MLS comps on their computer or whatever comping system they use, and they're running comps just on the house. Now that's a big problem if there's 20, 40, 50, or $100,000 of extra value added on that property that you don't know about, and you're running your ad or running your numbers and making offers based off just the house value. So on this specific property, you know, a bunch of people had come before me and they kept, from what that homeowner was saying, lowballing them. And I asked them, well, why do you think the house is worth what it is? And they explained to me that there's a unit in the back. And so what I did is I came over here and I used Instant Street View. First thing I do, guys, is I go down the street horizontally like this. I'm going to get a quick look at the neighborhood. You know, some of the things I'm doing is just to see, are the houses similar? Are they the same size? Are they cookie cutters, which makes it easy to run comps? Or do you have a bunch of unique built houses not next to each other? Do you have a bunch of 2-story frame houses and a 1-story, you know, single family and a small 800 square foot frame house? Is it a mixed neighborhood? Are there 4-unit buildings? Are there duplexes? So this is a pretty cookie cutter neighborhood. Now this is where it gets exciting because this tool right here on this part of the Instant Street View does not allow you to see everything you need. It's very limited. So I can't get around to the backside of this property because there's no roads that go to it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go right here. I'm going to click the satellite feature, and I'm going to click this property. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Now, guys, take a look at the bottom left in this small picture. This is an overhead satellite view of this property that we're looking at. The problem with Instant Street Viewer is if there's not roads that you can drive down to get a side angle to look at the property, you're not going to get a visual of it. So you have to use a satellite feature. Now, this is what you're going to look at originally. But if I back it out, you're going to see where the value add is. So why was I able to offer more than other investors and still make a ton of money? Well, back it out here. You guys can see. See this little building right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see this. When I did this process, I saw this building, and I needed to find out if this was on my property or not. I saw a fence here. I found out that not only is this land attached to this property, but so is all of this land, and this building right here was over 1,000 square feet. It was a shingle roof, slab foundation, electrical and water, or electric and water running to it. Now what that means is that's an expensive building to build. This right here, originally what I wanted to do with it when I figured this out and saw that it was on here was I wanted to buy the property and turn this into a rentable unit, maybe even 2 units, and rent this one out as well and finance them all in one loan. But because you guys can see, part of the reason why other investors didn't know this was here is because it was landlocked and they never went to the backside of the property. You know, because there's no roads going here, the city zoning wouldn't allow us to do it, and there's really no way for me to do this. So basically, it was just a value add to the property. Now, this was a very nice work garage, essentially, is what it was. The person I ended up selling this to owned a construction business, and they wanted to put their trailers and all their work stuff out there, and this was a big value add to them. But if it wasn't for this building in the back that I discovered through this process here, I would have passed on this deal. Instead, I forget, we'd have to go back. It was a pretty good deal. It's probably just around 30K profit, somewhere in there, give or take a little bit, just a normal deal that we're doing. So that is one property where you can clearly see that if you do not do this process and you just ran numbers on this house, you would have missed this deal and it would have been taken from you. I'm gonna show you another property right now. Okay guys, this is property number 2. It was about a 2-hour drive from me. So as you can imagine, it was a big effort to get out there, but I'm not just gonna drive out to any property until I analyze it. And one of the biggest reasons I bought this property was because other people are doing the same thing. What most investors do today, guys, is they analyze properties at home and throw out offers over the phone to the homeowner to see if they're close before they decide to spend the time and invest the time to go out to the property. Now, being a 2-hour property or 2-hour drive this property, to go out there just to look at the property and drive back would have been almost a full day. It would have been very time consuming. And also, if you don't get the deal, very frustrating. And this is what burns people out. So instead of rushing right out there, guys, what I did was I analyzed the property like this. I kind of got the gist from the homeowner, the condition of the property, and what they wanted for it. I analyzed the property. Most of these are cookie cutter houses, you can see, very similar in size. And I did this exact instant street viewer process. And when I went like this, I could see that down this road, this half road in here, there's another unit back there, just like the last property. Now, what I like to do with these properties, or hope to do, is if they're zoned correctly, finance them on one loan and have multiple units on that property rented out. But I couldn't get a good view, so what I did was I went to the satellite, came over here. You guys can see as I zoom in here, take a look at that. Just like the last property, that's the house. This building right here is almost as big as this house. Shingle roof, slab foundation, electrical, and water running it to it just like the last one. But also, I don't know if you guys can see this, it's underneath the tree. There is another almost tiny home-sized property. So what I was hoping to do was able to rent all these out individually, but unfortunately the distance between the slabs on this property and this property, or this building and this building, were too close that I didn't meet the zoning. But this right here was a big value add for the person buying it. So this building right here easily added $30,000, $40,000 in this unit in the back. And what I was able to do was average in the values of all the buildings on the property, the total value of the property, which allowed me to offer more than other investors there. I bought the property, sold it, and flipped the house and made a good profit on it. So these are 2 case studies where you can save time and pick up a deal that you wouldn't have done otherwise. Just doing something like this is free to do and very simple to do. And you guys should be doing this on every single property. And I can show you a lot of different properties we've had similar acquisitions on, where they were either backing up to schools or waterfront property or certain things that just added value that gave us just enough to make our offer high enough to outbid other investors and get the deal. Now let's go into the third property, guys. I'm gonna show you how I lost this deal and explain why, but also why this is the deal. Let's dig in. Okay, guys, this is the third property and the last property and the best property to learn from. And this is a case study of a house that I just bought. This house that you're looking at, I actually own this house, I'm flipping it. But there's property down the street, just a few doors, that if I bought this, I probably would have made almost 80 grand, if not more. So I'm gonna show you how and why I missed this. So I'm gonna go down here, use Instant Street View and go down the street just a little bit. And I'm gonna show you this house right here, okay? So you can see this house right here. Now if I turn around, you can see this house down here is the house that I'm flipping. So how did I lose this deal, and how did I not analyze this to be such a big deal from the beginning when it went on the market? So this house was put on the MLS, which is the reason why I didn't look at the property in the first place. I'm not analyzing all MLS deals all the time. Now those other 2 properties, the reason why I was analyzing those and looking for external units or value adds is because those were leads that came in from marketing dollars. I'm not analyzing every house that goes on the MLS. It's too big an effort and I don't have time to do it, and very few companies could ever do that. So I wasn't analyzing this deal, even though it popped up on the MLS right next to me. I quickly looked at what they wanted for it, and I was like, that's no way that's a deal. They wanted about $30,000 more than I bought my house for just a couple doors down. And then I saw this get sold really quick, and it started to go into the rehab process, and a bunch of construction trucks were out here. And I was like, why is the house flipper buying this house? They're going to get beat up big time on this deal. Until I walked around the back down this side over here of this house and looked in the back. And what I found was, if you guys go over to satellite view, I'll zoom in here, you can see, let's see right here. This is the house, and then right behind here, guys, this square, this big block of land, 2 buildable lots, equivalent to $40,000 in value each. Now, because this is instant street view, if you go down this way, there's no roads, you couldn't really get a good view back here, even if you were to do this, unless you went to the satellite view and saw this. Now, if you scroll down here, you can see there's a road actually coming up to the back side. I didn't know who owned this, didn't even know it was there, and I owned this property literally just right here, and didn't even know this was here because it's tucked back in here. So if I had simply gone to the MLS, run some numbers, saw that there's 2 extra lots on here, I would have bought the house. This investor is going to flip this house, probably break even on the house and get 2 buildable lots for free. And he looks like he's a construction company, so he's probably going to build those properties there as well. But this is just another case study of why, if there's a house in your area or a lead comes in, you have to do an overhead view and a 360-degree walk around view. And I would never drive out to a property until you do, guys. I could show you property after property after property like this over the past 5 years, where certain situations like this happen, where we're either picking up deals that other investors didn't know about, or we lost deals because we didn't do this process. So guys, if you like this video, give me a like button, guys. And if you can hit the like button on the future videos, guys, it helps the algorithm. It's going to help others find the video. If you haven't already done so, guys, subscribe to the video. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys when I see you.